Yes,
Hey, it's Tony. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. And yourself?
I'm not doing too bad. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yes, it has.
So
Yes.
they got you on my schedule for a hospital follow-up. Not I was typically I try to read through that before the visit.
Mhm.
But I'm not quite sure which one. I see that you went back in November, like the 1st of November, and then there was an October visit to the ED, so I'm not quite sure which hospital, and then there was another one on the 27th. So,
Correct.
which hospital follow-up are you coming for?
I'm assuming it would be the most recent one, which was
For your
the 20.
esophagus issue?
Yes, ma'am. On the 27th of November, I
Uh-huh.
stayed in there for a week until 12/4,
Okay.
to December 4th. And I was severely dehydrated, constipated, anemic. Uh, what was it? I had esophagitis, and just severe acid reflux. All my
What took you to the hospital? What symptoms were you having?
um, I couldn't short. Actually, I was experiencing shortness of breath, and along with GERD and acid reflux and severe. And that night that I called 911, it like every direction I tried to lay in my bed, I was losing breath and couldn't get it together. And then I had chest pains.
Okay. Had you been off your medicine?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And at that particular time, I didn't necessarily have any medicine for acid reflux or GERD at that particular
Okay,
time.
yeah, that's what I was wondering. Had you been on any acid reflux medicine, whether it was like over the counter or prescribed? So you weren't.
Right, no.
Let me just kind of read this note because I just couldn't determine which one you were in for. So they thought you had a little bit of fungus in your esophagus, and they
Yes,
put you on some medicine for that.
yes.
And they
Fluconate or something like
Fluconazole.
fluconate. Yeah, I'm sorry. Right.
That's fine. These are hard words. Did they give you that to take home, or they gave it to you all in the hospital?
They gave me some to take home as well. It was a um, 6 day period.
And have you finished that?
I did. I finished that on. Let's see. I got out the 4th, so the Saturday following the 5th, whatever that
And
was.
has that
The
resolved?
12th. Yes, yes, I would say.
Okay.
And I believe that was more precautionary because my white blood cell counts were so low that they could not do an endoscopy. Um, so for fear of risk of infection.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, being that they couldn't do the endoscopy, and he just wanted to make sure that there was no yeast further down in my throat, although he didn't see any in my mouth. He just wanted to make sure that there were no other yeast down further in my throat that couldn't be seen.
Okay. And it looks like you were able to eat prior to discharge. Have you had any problems with that?
That's correct. My appetite did return fully on the 3rd of December. And I've been able since then to eat anything I want. Basically, I try to stay away from the more acidic, like fruits and things of that nature.
And probably hot, spicy,
and right,
spicy and fried too.
Exactly, which I never really was a spicy food eater. So,
okay.
But now, the other underlying issue with that is, I'm on chemotherapy, so that week that I was in there, as well as the following week, I did not. I missed 2 sessions of chemotherapy, so I wasn't on chemotherapy. And
they didn't contact them while you. What hospital were you in?
Vitamin Beaufort. Yeah, they did. Yes, they contacted my oncologist and forwarded all the information to them. Yes, so they were aware.
But so they didn't like give you chemo then while you were in the hospital.
No.
Were they okay with that?
Yes, they were fine because my system wouldn't have been able to handle it. All my levels were completely out of whack. In fact, when I went into the emergency room, my immune system was 0.5.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
So there was no way possible that I could go through another chemo session without rebounding first.
I get it. Have you been back since? I
just started back my second cycle. I just finished my 5-day cycle. Yesterday. So I went.
Are you handling it pretty well?
I'm handling it better this time, although I am starting to get the same results as far as the GERD and acid. The only difference this time is it's a little bit lessened, and I do have the medicine that I did not have last time, the Socafrate and the Protonics.
Okay.
That is helping. I'm just concerned because, like last night, I woke up in the middle of the night again with the same symptoms of. It wasn't that strong, but still, it was present. That same acid reflux. I had to keep adjusting in my bed. And I do have a appointment with Dr. Ruffalo and P.A. Kelly, Brilliant, on the 31st.
Okay.
Of the last day of the year. Yes, I do have an appointment with them. I was debating whether I wanted to call them prior, and I noticed with the holiday, it's gonna be like slim pickings even getting in there anyway. So,
probably, yeah.
But
but you can still call. You never know, but probably not.
Exactly.
Christmas and New Year's coming back to back.
Right. At least I do have one, already scheduled on the 31st. So that's a good thing.
You can also talk to your oncologist too, because this is nothing new
right.
to them as far as those symptoms, and they may have a few tricks up their sleeves about something else you can do for them.
Absolutely.
Chemotherapy is aggravating that.
Yes, and the only other new symptom that I just made them aware of yesterday was I'm starting to retain fluid. My weight. I usually am between 125 and 130, and I've gained like 15 pounds. I'm at 142 now. So.
Did they give you any steroids in the hospital?
Yes, my oncologist said that it's probably due to the steroids and the chemotherapy fluids itself. So just he said there's nothing to be, alarmed about. But he did as a preventative or precautionary measure, he did go immediately order a ultrasound on my legs and everything to make sure there were no blood clots.
Was that negative?
Unfortunately, that was just conducted yesterday, and they haven't gone through they haven't called me back with the results yet. So and it could be the results may be sitting in my vitamin chart, and I, you know, it's only been it's not hadn't even been 24 hours yet. So
Okay.
um,
Now, I haven't seen you. I'm trying to put these pieces of the puzzle together because I haven't
January,
seen
I
you
believe.
since I sent you because you came in with a mask to
Correct.
your test.
Correct.
So am I to assume that this is why you're on chemo?
That the first initial the mask that was taken care of already.
Did they do? What did they do?
They removed they did an orchiectomy
Okay, which
on the
side?
right sided a
Okay.
right sided orchiectomy on in March of 2020. I was out of work for a month.
Did they? Was it cancer?
Yes, it was seminoma testicular cancer,
Okay.
and
Now, have you been on chemo since then, or did this?
that was the problem, I believe, right there. Um, the panel decided that they felt they got everything, and that um, based on the type of cancer that I had, that it would not metastasize, and that it was everything was okay. So they decided not to go ahead and do chemo and radiation
Okay.
back then. So
Okay.
everything was cleared up. I was released by the doctor, released by the urologist, and I returned to work to the egg farm like nothing, you know, ever happened. Then
Okay.
then further down the line here, October 27th, and you should see in your notes where I had an ER visit to Vitamin Beaufort um, on the October the 27th. And I went in for what I thought was COVID symptoms. That night I was throwing up, and I threw up about 3 times early morning between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. Um, yeah, and I chanced myself because my parents were here in Washington. I was in my apartment in Greenville. I drove myself all the way back down here to Washington, and I was in pain the entire time. I did. Yeah, that was a no go. But thank God I made it. And
Yes.
not only
Yes,
that,
yes.
look, I had to stop and put air in my tire on the way
Oh my God.
at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was, I was,
Awesome.
yeah, that was a bad
Not even
decision.
worth it. Yeah.
It was, but I knew it was so early in the morning, and my parents were down here, and I was like, if something happens, they need to be able to get to me quicker. And with them being slower and stuff, I was like, I can probably force myself, to get down here to Beaufort. I just overrode everything I was feeling that night. I really did.
You just don't like Greenville?
No, no, no. It's no problem. It's I knew I didn't want my mom to have to drive all the way to Greenville. That's all that was the main thing. Yeah, that was the main thing. Because I know it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and God forbid she needs to get there. She's already groggy and all that stuff. It's a lot easier for her to drive 10 minutes to this hospital than her to drive an hour or 45 minutes to Greenville. But so that was how that played out that particular night, and that is also when they ran me through test after test after test, MRIs, CTs, this, that, and the third, ultrasounds. Um, and they came back with a totally different C word. I was expecting them to come back with COVID, and they come back with cancer. And I'm like, right, like with a vengeance. And I'm like,
Wow.
are you serious? So,
wow. Where did it come back? Did it come back same area or
no, ma'am.
somewhere?
No, ma'am. It has come back as about a 7 centimeter mass that is pressing up against my right kidney
Wow.
and my aorta. It's kind of near my spine as well, in the on the right side. So because of the size, because it's so big, it's um, decreasing the function of my right kidney. So I had to get a nephrostomy bag put in to allow the urine, the excess urine, to drain from the
Did they
kidney.
say the nephrostomy was going to be temporary, or
They did say that it should be temporary, and preferably the overall plan is to take the chemo, reduce the size of the mass, and then thus the kidney should return to regular function. Um,
so that's now why you're taking chemo, because of the
yes,
mass?
I currently have that bag on me as we speak.
Okay.
In addition, um, they sent me through the ringer. I'm gonna tell you, they sent me through the ringer starting on the 9th of November. The oncologist was very prompt in getting things arranged for me to start chemo. I had to get the nephrostomy bag placed. Then, um, no, first of all, I had to get a COVID test. then I
Yeah.
had, then I had to get the the a biopsy. They had to do a biopsy um, of the mass on the, I believe, the 9th or the 10th. Then they did the nephrostomy placement on the 11th.
This
The
was in was
This
this in
is all
November?
November. This is all November. hmm Um,
Wow.
and they did the what do you call the port placement for the chemo. They did that on the 12th.
Where's your port?
That's located on my right side, just over my, the jugular vein, um, and it's quite prominent. And, I'm a small guy, so it's a little prominent. But
Uh-huh.
but yeah. So, and before they could even do all those tests, all those the biopsy and stuff, they did a PET scan over in Greenville on the 5th of November. I forgot about the PET scan and the pulmonary lung function tests. All of these tests were in preparation before I could even take chemo. So I went through like 5 procedures before I could even take chemo.
Wow. But to look at you, you look good.
Thank
With
you.
everything you've been through, it's like you are a tough cookie.
I am. I'm very resilient, and one of the ladies at my church was like, I don't know how in the world you look as good as you do, but you do, and I intend on trying to keep it that way.
There you go. That's definitely the way. I am so sorry all that happened, but in retrospect of everything, I'm glad you came in. I think you said in January.
In January, yeah. If it wasn't, I'm gonna tell you. To be honest with you, I don't know if you remember my friend that came in with me that day. Obviously, it's near about a year ago, but if it wasn't for him, I really don't know if I even would have come, because he's the one that really kept telling me, okay, dude, you really need to go and get this checked out, because because I clearly already been dealing with it from, as I told you, from the summer of 2019, and the mass just grew so quick that it really became a concern. And then once it started hurting, that was the big issue there. I was like, okay, this is. And then in my head, I already knew that it was cancerous. I already knew that.
Well, don't beat yourself up, but just like in the future, you ever notice anything that doesn't seem right or doesn't look right, just get it checked.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes could be a scenario where, it's nothing, it's just this, and, great and bye. But, if it is something, the earlier you catch it,
Yeah, the
you
better.
know what I mean? It's just the best. And, all prompts go out to your friend as well. Make sure that you and
Yeah, I've done that several times. Yeah,
yeah.
and he
I do remember him. I
mhm
don't remember what he looked like, but I remember you had someone with you and
mhm
was very involved in that visit that day. So
yeah.
I'm so glad, and as much as you've been through, still I'm glad that you came and got that taken care of, and it sounds like they've got a plan for this as well. So
Right.
do you get your chemo here, or do you go to Greenville?
No, I moved all my care to Greenville because once they had to do the PET scan over in Greenville, I was like, what is the point of keep bouncing back and forth?
Yeah,
I'll
they have
just
an excellent cancer program there.
mhm
I used to work in the building right beside it in cardiology, and
okay
we call it the Twin Towers. And we're real fortunate. We really are so fortunate to
to
have
have
that
this so
here.
close. Yes,
Yes, because many years back, people had to go, up to
Duke
Chapel
and Chapel
Hill,
Hill.
and so
I've
we're
spent
real
many
fortunate.
days. I've spent many days traveling back and forth to Chapel Hill for people.
Yeah, yeah.
In my
So
teenage years, taking them for
yeah,
doctor's appointments.
yeah. So it's a top
So
notch, kind of operation there. So you've got good people, looking after you, and
mhm.
sounds like you've got excellent family support, and friend support. So
Yes, my
hang
parents
on
are
to it.
sitting out in the car right now.
Oh my
Yeah, because I
goodness.
can't drive. I can't drive right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've actually lent my vehicles out because I can't
Hey,
even.
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I was telling somebody else earlier today, as bad as 2020 has been as far as this COVID situation,
and yes,
end of the day, we still have so much to be thankful for.
we really do every
Because
day.
so many people have been lost from this COVID scenario that, it's been bad. But we
It's
still
really
should,
scary.
be very thankful that, we're still here, and, just be thankful for that at the very
Amen.
minimum. So, I'm glad to see you again. You almost made it a year.
Yeah, I'm coming up on
But
the
I know you've been
anniversary.
busy though, so I'll give you a break on it this time.
Yeah, and thank God, Lord have mercy, thank God, I both of the jobs were very good jobs and had insurance.
You
And
work two jobs?
this year, unfortunately, I don't like jumping around jobs, but unfortunately, I was working in Pantego at the ant farm, and
Uh
then
huh.
in July, the last week of July, um, I started working at Iconic Marine Fountain Powerboats out
That's here.
In Chalkawinity.
Community.
Yeah.
Great. That's
So
a cool job. I know they make $1 million boats there, from what I
yeah,
hear.
yes.
I wish I had one of them.
But yeah, shucks. I don't know. They put them together so fast. It
And they're
scares
made
me.
of fiberglass, right?
Yeah, they're good though. They're good. And I detail them. I'm in the final prep. Well, was in the final prep because it can't work now. But anyway, um, yeah, it so happened that I came in open enrollment time. I had no lapse in coverage,
That's
and
so good.
then boom, I'm hit with this 3 months after I start working. Life.
There goes another blessing for you.
So
So,
yeah, and I'm just thankful and grateful all the way around. Try to keep my spirits up and keep it
yeah,
moving. Um,
absolutely.
I started a cancer journey because with the COVID stuff, it's hard for my parents to come up to the room, and even when I was
Right.
in there getting all those procedures done, they weren't. In fact, they dropped me off, and I was there a week by myself, pretty much.
Yeah, that's been tough on patients.
Yeah, and so I
Rely so heavily on family support when you're in the
exactly
hospital. and not to be able to, it's gotta be tough.
It was a little bit, but I got through it by, you know, I started making that cancer journey video on my YouTube page, and
Oh,
and so like I have probably about 280 videos or something somewhere in that area, little short 2 minute clips, just documenting everything. And my mom would immediately get notified whenever I posted a video, so she'd
that's
immediately go up
awesome.
there and watch it. And
Yeah,
so that's how I've gotten
it
through
helps
this.
keep everybody up to date with what's going
Exactly,
on.
exactly.
So that's the technology. You can't beat it now.
No, you
With
can't.
FaceTime and what you've got going as far as your documentation there, you
Right,
can't beat.
right.
Wish
And even when I'm
it had been some time back.
even documenting taking my medicine and my blood pressure, because with the Carvedilol heart med. Oh yeah, I don't know if we discussed that part. Um, the While I was also in the hospital, they found out that my heart was beating 40% less than the baseline of normal. So they wanted to put me on
Like
Carvedilol,
this. Oh, good. Okay, gotcha.
and so basically,
Did they
um,
say heart failure?
um, they didn't particularly use the term. They just that's the way they said that my heart was beating 40% less than normal. So,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't for certain at first if it was induced by the chemotherapy or if it was a pre-existing condition.
Gotcha.
I don't know. The doctor literally said it doesn't even matter which. The thing is, it is there
Got
and it
treated.
needs to be treated. So
Yes.
that's when they gave me the Carvedilol. And now with this retention of fluid and everything, my mom was saying that the Carvedilol is also kind of sort of like a diuretic in a way. Uh, I mean, as far as lowering the blood pressure. Um,
Yeah. Doesn't make you pee. You
mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Okay, so it's not like the water pill.
Uh-huh. But it does aid in lowering the blood pressure because your blood pressure is really kind of controlled by kidneys.
Right.
Um, Kidneys aren't having to work so hard, and you can lower that blood pressure by that medicine and the heart rate. That definitely can help in that regard.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have a cardiologist?
Um. Well, wait a minute. Do I? You know what? K. What is his name? I'm supposed to have. I'm supposed to be going to uh, Vidant Vascular Heart and Vascular sometime next week. I can't even. I
Okay.
believe it's next week. I
Okay.
got so many. I start getting confused. I got so
Yeah.
many. Oh, that's
So
what it
many
is.
appointments and so much to
It's
do.
the
Yeah.
it's the 31st. That's what it is. It's the 31st, but it's at
Oh,
9.
you got two things then on the 31st.
Exactly. It's at 9:15 a.m. on the 31st, and then
Okay.
and then after I finish with that appointment, I got to go over to Greenville to see my oncologist by 12:45 and
Wow. Wow.
take labs. And he's returning from vacation actually. I had a substitute oncologist for this past week here.
Mm-hmm.
So my actual Dr. Chaudhry is my actual oncologist, and he'll be returning on the 31st. So I'll see
Okay.
him.
And I would definitely review, the concerns about the retention and that sort of thing with cardiology. Make sure you're, really being mindful of what you're eating in terms of the salt.
Okay.
You may not be shaking it on, but there's a lot of foods that have sodium. Your canned vegetables, your boxed products like macaroni and cheese and spaghetti and oodles and noodles and diet sodas and
Okay.
sandwich meats, like bologna and hot dogs and stuff like that. So, in your salty snacks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of
So
guilty. I'm a pizza fanatic, but yeah,
yeah, that definitely does.
yeah,
Unless you do the veggie pizza,
mm,
but the sauce is gonna have a bit of something in it as well. But
right.
you know,
I'm a.
think about ways if you like it. Do thin crust versus thick.
Mm-hmm.
Vegetable pizzas are good. In terms of you not having the pepperoni and the what is that, the
Sausage
Canadian
and yeah,
and that kind of stuff, which is really really salty.
got you. Which normally I do just get a plain cheese pizza. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that cheese has got some sodium in it too,
Yeah.
and it'll fatten you up.
Right.
If you eat a lot of it.
And then too
It eliminates a lot of the bread.
they did say something about with this chemotherapy process or medications eating fatty foods also um is not good. A whole bunch of
Yeah,
fatty foods
yeah.
which that the cheese is not that grand.
Unless you make your own pizza and then
Ooh, I ain't got
use
time. I ain't
those
got
as
no
a
air fryer.
substitute.
I do not have no air fryer.
Look, I don't have it. I think I have one, but I've never used it because I couldn't figure out how.
Right.
I read the directions and it seemed very complicated, and I was like, "Oh, this is beyond what I can do."
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't done that.
My
But
name is not Rachel, and the last name ain't Ray.
or the one that went to prison. What's her name?
Well, Martha
Martha Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah, definitely not any of that.
Neither of them.
Well, it sounds like you're doing pretty well, but busy. That is for sure. I definitely, want to kind of make sure that we keep in touch.
Okay.
Are you getting your refills as far as, well, there's only two things on here, your Lipitor, and then you had this was back, when I saw you in January, an antibiotic, which is, of course, falling off.
Right.
Taking your cholesterol medicine for...
Actually, the Lipitor I stopped taking. I didn't take it irregulated. So
Okay, have they done, let me see,
my
labs?
my what do you call it? Triglycerides and all of those levels are level.
Yeah, I see they did one December the 2nd, and everything looked absolutely perfect. Your good cholesterol was a little high back in November, but your total cholesterol was 177, which is good. Your triglycerides were 103. Your good was 51 and your bad was 105. So, everything looks good. We'll just kind of make sure we keep an eye on it, though.
Okay.
I won't do any labs or anything today because, you've had some right recently. They did basic chemistry and CBC and
right.
So I'm
now. So you have access to Vidance charts as well? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So I can see the labs, without any issues. So like if there was something that they didn't get that I was like, I kind of want,
right.
Probably would say, let's get that. But
they've been pretty.
They had a gracious plenty of stuff.
Yeah, they've been pretty thorough.
So I'm good with that. I can kind of see what they're doing and see what your numbers are.
Right.
That way. So I guess I'm glad that you came. Let's don't let it be this long, anymore.
Right.
I don't have to see you like every week, but I do want to kind of keep up with you and make sure everything is going okay.
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 All right.
So let's say in about 4 months, because I know you're. How much chemo do you know how long they've said?
Yes. Basically, each month is a cycle, and it started in November. So they want me to take 4 cycles, which should be lasting me up till February.
Okay.
I'm currently on cycle 2, and
Okay.
so within cycle 2, I have 3 more single days. I went through the first 5 day straight stretch, and now I got 3 single days. So that's why I say
So
it's.
it's 5, like Monday through Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take a break.
No,
I would
I
think.
don't. Well, take like the following Tuesday. After that Friday, I would go back each week and take one session on each Tuesday. So
For 3
for
weeks.
3 weeks, and then start the new month with the new cycle.
Okay, so say like if it was December the 1st, that first week you'd go for 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go every Tuesday for the next 3.
Exactly.
And that's one cycle.
That's one cycle, and then
Gotcha.
January start the whole process over.
Gotcha. Now, are you doing any radiation with this, or just
They have not mentioned. Yeah, they have not mentioned any radiation as of yet. Just the chemotherapy, and I don't know if you see in there. There's a cocktail of 3 different medications: etoposide, cisplatin, and bleomycin.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, and usually my cycle consists of 2 days. When I first get there, I get the all 3. Excuse me. When I first get there, I get the 2 etoposide and cisplatin. The second day, I get all 3, and then the remaining of the 5 day stretch, I get just the 2 again, back to the cisplatin and the etoposide. Then on the single days is when they administer just only the bleomycin.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And how long are you there to get all of that? Is
5. I stay there about 5 hours each.
5 hours.
Each
wow.
day. Yeah.
It's worth it though. I mean, in February is boom, right around the corner.
Right.
I always say, once the Christmas decorations go down, the very next thing you see in the stores is boxes of candy. So,
pretty much for Valentine's Day.
Yes, look at it like that. It'll be over soon, and you'll be back to some sort of a normal life in terms of not having to go there.
Yeah, exactly.
By the time I see you, I'm just giving you 4 months because I don't want to have to tire you out with me. But I still kind of want to keep up with where you are. And I know that you've got some eyes on you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So now I don't remember if you wore a hat when you were here before. Did you lose your hair?
I did. Well, it's gone.
Hey, that's a cool look.
Yeah, it's gone. The week that I was in there dealing with the dehydration and all that of every day.
That looks good.
Every day I woke up with hair on my pillow, and I finally asked. I said, "Can you please just give me some?" They gave me some surgical clippers, and I just shaved my head, standing right at the bathroom sink in the thing in the room. I just went on and shaved everything right off.
It looks good. That's the magic of being a man.
Right.
You get away with it.
Right. And I did.
When it grows back, though, a lot of times it comes back in a whole different consistency.
Exactly. And I already had good hair, so they say it comes back better. So I'm like, well, here we go.
You'll be able to go like this.
Right. But I did have one little strip of beard around here, and it finally fell out, and I just went on and finished. It started getting patchy. And I'm like, okay, that's it. That does it. I'm not wearing patches or hair.
Well, it looks good. I mean, you really look like a healthy you.
Thank you.
And with the treatments that you're getting, and having had everything done in March that you had to get done, all of that's out of your system. So now it's just a matter of finishing the chemo and
Right, and prayerfully we can completely avoid surgery. That's
Yeah,
the overall goal, avoiding this surgery.
yeah. But if it has to be,
Yeah, yeah.
we will, right? Because
Right,
at the end of the day, we want you to be the healthiest that you can be.
right,
Okay.
exactly.
So, hopefully this will do the trick. We'll send the prayers up that it will,
Absolutely.
do the trick for you. But, at least be open to it if that has to be the next option.
Gotcha. Yep.
So, my extension to you at this point is to have a very, 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 very good Christmas, a very, very happy New Year. Hopefully 2020 will be done with this COVID stuff. Their
Right.
vaccinations on the rise, so definitely think about that as that trickles down to patients that are not in essential work jobs.
Right.
Just really think about it. I'm sure you got your flu shot if you were with Biden.
Nope.
No.
I never get those vaccines. I actually never get them.
Wow.
Because I
I'm
mean,
surprised.
I never. I mean, thank God, I never get sick in that to that degree, and yeah, I've just always decided to opt out of the flu shots
Okay.
and things.
Well, you know what you got to do then. You got to wear that mask.
Right.
You got to wash the hands even at home because when you think about COVID, it can stay on objects. So you have to think about things like your mail, where lots of people touch, newspapers, even your grocery items, where people pick up stuff.
Right.
Might cough over it, and so make sure you still wash your hands at home. No visitors, really. I'm just go there, and you stay home and don't visit people and travel and all of that stuff. Okay.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have any questions for me?
No. I thought when you answered my one question, I thought I was gonna have to do labs today, but you answered it.
You just had them that CBC was just done yesterday on the 22nd. Yeah, so I wouldn't. I mean, as long as I can see them, it's when patients say, "Well, they had labs, but then I can't see them." Then I'm like, "Well, what is that hospital in Martin County? We're not connected to them because they're not audit. So unless they come with the papers in their hand,
you don't know nothing.
Yeah. So then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to get my own.
And see, I was good. I even brought because I couldn't remember if y'all were connected or not. I even brought all my paperwork.
And you know what? You're still good because I try to typically read over a hospital visit before, and then I looked and I was like, oh, I don't know which one he's coming for. But you were able to give me a really good picture, and I was kind of reading stuff along the way as well, but just so on top of what's going on with your health, which is a big bonus. And I was able to put all the pieces together.
Okay. Yeah, I try to stay on top of it. I really do, especially since this hit me like a ton of bricks because I already dealt with it at the beginning of the year. So I'm like, I shouldn't have to be going through this again. So and I'm just like, so I was a little upset because I really felt like I probably should have been taking chemo or radiation prior. But in retrospect,
sometimes you just never know, though.
Right.
I feel what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah. I think it could have been avoided. This whole situation, but anyway.
And I'll share. My dad went through, some cancer issues. And, we had to do the chemo and all of that, and he was good for a while, and it came back.
Gotcha.
And so sometimes it just does, and you have that moment where, but then as you pull the britches up and you put that foot in front of the other and do what's necessary to get the job done.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
So, well, I won't hold you too much longer. I'm sure you're probably ready for some yum yum to go in your tum
Yeah, I,
tum.
I, that's the other thing. My sleep pattern is so weird right now, with between having to wake up to take medicines and then trying to still live a relatively normal life.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But if you have to set that alarm to do it, you reach
yeah,
over and
I've
go
got
like
four.
this.
Yeah, I've got four alarms set. They're basically every 6 hour. Basically, you know.
Wow.
And I slept pretty good last night. I think I went to bed
Good.
about 10 last night, and but then I woke up about 4:30 in the morning, and with that same indigestion or GERD or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and you
And
know.
you've been on it now, so short term.
Hmm.
Like you just got out of the hot. So once it gets really, really, really good in your system, hopefully, I mean, and it sounds like you said you could kind of see that it was helping some.
Yeah, yeah, because
But I would
it's
still,
nowhere near like I'm
is it
trying to tell you.
THC?
I had hiccups out of the. That was the other thing. I had hiccups the first time, and it would be like a series of hiccups. It would nonstop, and
So
it
you
would.
had probably some spasms there too
Hmm. And
with the hiccups.
I don't know if the medicine maybe made my diaphragm weak. And wasn't able to close. What's that little thingy in there? You.
Epiglottis.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Um.
The little flap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
sounded like it was not liking the fact that all of that was going on, and it probably caused some, spasms in there.
So I was just hiccuping, hiccuping, hiccuping over and over and over, and then it's like all systems turned off that Tuesday prior 2 days before Thanksgiving. I did not enjoy my Thanksgiving at all. I didn't eat
Oh.
any. I couldn't eat anything. I think I had my mom mixed a V8 splash.
Uh-huh.
She mixed a V8 splash with some chicken broth, and that's all I
And
had basically.
everybody else was chomping on the turkey.
In that part. So
Well, maybe you can make up for it a little bit for Christmas.
absolutely, that's my plan.
I hope so. Well, if I can do anything at all for you, do not ever hesitate to, give the office a call.
All right,
Just because I say 4 months doesn't mean it has to be.
got you.
Anything that comes up that I can help you with, just please give us a call.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Do you know how to get out of there, or do you want me to get somebody to?
Yeah, I can manage my way back up there. I just need to know who to. I'll just give the iPad back to the front desk, or will that be
Yeah,
fine?
give it back to them, and then they'll make your follow up for you. And yeah, at that point, you call me if you need me.
Okay, then I certainly appreciate everything.
You are so welcome.
Yeah.
And tell your friend I said hello, okay?
Okay, I certainly will. I'm sure he remembers
Take
it.
care. Uh-huh.
Take care.
Bye.
How do I
You
log
too.
out of this, or once you hit end, it'll.
Yeah, once I hit end, yeah, it'll go off.
Okay, all right. Then.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Uh-huh.